Hey guys, it's Jeremy with the Watch 2 podcast. We're back again with you this week. -1. We don't have Mike tonight, but however, we got JC with us. We're going to be dropping some fire and we're going to be deep diving into some sales and marketing tactics. So, really looking forward to the show. JC, I
What's up,
appreciate you
man?
coming on. Appreciate you coming on here with us tonight. Taking
Well, you
time.
got me up past my bedtime. Normally, I'm crawling to bed right now, and I told you that weeks ago. But I wanted to make sure I got on for you, just to have some fun, talk, and let's just have some fun. Like you said, drop some fire. I've got the Christmas light shirt on, bringing the big Nick energy. I got an old Mr. Grinch here, so let's just have some fun, talk some Christmas, and whatever else we want to do.
I love it. Big Nick energy. They call you Mr. Christmas. Is that what they call
Mr.
you?
Christmas, yeah, I just love
Mr.
Christmas so
Christmas.
much, and it's like I literally live it and breathe it all year. I got Christmas jackets I wear at the airports. I mean, I just wore one headed down to Orlando of all places, sweating with a Christmas jacket on the airport, and it just brings energy to the room, and people get excited about it. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is, they just get excited. So I like to do it. It might look silly to some, but you just never know the impact you're going to have on somebody's life by doing something like that. And if I can make one person smile, I'm all about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that, I mean, people love smiling, and it's just like the reaction you get when you can make someone smile. It just warms you up on the inside. I mean, it just does something to you. Love it. We got a bunch
For
of guys
sure.
jumping on here tonight. Hey, if you're in here and you're live, drop something in the chat. Let us know if you're watching. Speaking of the jacket, I'm gonna tell you this story. I don't know if I told you this. I may have sent you a message. I know. So I seen the jacket, and I joined the Chamber of Commerce like back in November, maybe it was October, and so I joined it under my wash business. And this is when I decided to do Christmas lights was in December or in November. So this was the Christmas Chamber lunch in, I guess you'd call it. So it's all party and games, and everyone's just having a good time. So I was like, man, what can I do? What can I do to stand out? And I was like, where is JC getting these jackets at? And I was like, I'm just going to go to Amazon. I don't know. And I went to Amazon and I found one and I ordered it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get me one of these because I know I've seen you with one. I think I've seen Pat with one. I feel like I may have seen one another one, but just mainly I know I've seen you two in these jackets. Um, so I ordered it. My wife thought I was crazy. She's like, you've lost your mind. You're not going to wear that out, are you? I said, yeah, I'm going to wear it out. She said, why? I said, because everybody will look at me and talk to me. And you know what happened? I showed up to that chamber. I showed up to the chamber with that shirt on, and I felt like people were breaking their necks looking at me. They're like, man, I love that jacket. Where'd you get that at? Who are you? What do you do? And I was like, oh, yeah. So it was a great conversation starter. And
Oh,
plus, everyone
absolutely.
they loved it.
Yeah, they've got this power breakfast, they call it. They do it every quarter, and every quarter that I go to it, I wear the brightest, most loudest jacket. And I'm talking, you got like the mayor, city council, lawyers, doctors, business suits, dresses, you name it. They're all in it. Then there's me, bright, bold Christmas jacket. And I
Yeah.
don't give it's just like I want to be a bold statement when I walk in that room so people recognize me. And like it's all about building the brand out. And literally everywhere we go, people recognize me like you're the Christmas light guy. That's what they say. Like you're the Christmas light guy. So you got to be the unicorn. I say this all the time. Like be the unicorn, set yourself apart from everybody else because you want people to remember you. With the industry that we're in, it's just so what's the word? Just saturated. There's so many different companies out there. How are you going to set yourself apart from everybody else? They all have the vehicles, they all have the business cards, they all have uniforms. But I'm going to do whatever I can just to be the trendsetter so people recognize us and they say, you better call the Patriot guys.
That's right. Oh, well, they know who you are. They see that, they're like, "Oh, that's them. That's JC. He's got Patriot."
Yes.
And you also got a wash company too. Is that correct?
Yeah. Cape Fear Pro Wash is actually the reason. I mean, we started everything 2009 when I was in the Navy. I separated, left New York, came to North Carolina, and I was actually going to start a lawn care company. I love doing lawn care. I love just getting on the mowers and just riding around, cruising, getting sunburned, getting bit up by fire ants, but it was exciting. And this is back before Facebook, and I was on the forums, and I started doing some research, and actually had to pull out a yellow page. Still had those back then, but there was like so many landscaping companies down here in North Carolina. there was only a handful of pressure washing companies, and then only like one or two like authentic roof cleaning companies. So I pivoted and I went to a couple of the PT State and pressure washing friends and did some research. And my first pressure washing setup was actually a Fat Boy Bandit from Bob at Pressure Tech. And we just did all soft wash. And so 2009 is where it started, evolved from, and slowly grew it over the years. But the problem was like 2009, I started. 2010, I said, "Hey, I'm going back in the Navy." I went overseas for a year. Went to Dubai, Fujairah, and then I came home and moved to New York till 2014. So those 3-4 years I was gone, my dad was running the company, but it was more like if somebody called, he'd sell the job and go do the job, not really run the company, but he was there. So it's pretty cool. He kept the name alive. And then 2014, I came back down to North Carolina, went full-time Navy again, still had the pressure washing on the side. 2016, I went to the UAMCC, I think it was, yeah, event in Charlotte, North Carolina for pressure washing. I remember seeing the Christmas light sign there, and that's where the magic happened for me. So 16, I started hanging lights. 19, I branched off to Patriot Elimination, and really 19 was like the pinnacle, like where everything changed. I went full time. We talked earlier about full time Navy. I was making $72,000. Half of that was tax free, full benefits. I had a good life, but it wasn't the life I wanted to live. So I left the Navy full time, went full time pressure washing. I got on the phone with Pat Clark, and I watched Pat for years. He was doing everything I wanted to do. Like, why could he do it, but I couldn't do it? And he graciously got on the phone. He's like, "You ever heard of Sales Boost?" I'm like, "No, Pat." He's like, "Got to go to Sales Boost. It's at my shop in 2 months." I'm like, "Good. Ticket bought, done." He's like, "You ever hear of Conquer?" I'm like, "No, what's Conquer?" He's like, "Conquer coaching, sales, or mentorship. Join the group and I'll be your coach." Done. Like, didn't even hesitate. Didn't think about it. Didn't say, let me just see if I can afford it. I was like, if Pat is telling me to do this, like, it's gold and it's going to be successful. And we grew $220,000 that year just by doing those two things and starting to implement things. And then just slowly grew it over the year. I mean, every year for the last 6 years, we've had year-over-year growth, except for last year on the pressure washing side. But it's just been a fun adventure, man. And I love getting on shows and talking to incredible entrepreneurs like yourself. And you got a great audience just chiming in here. Like, everybody's chiming in here. Ding, ding, ding. It's pretty cool. So happy to see everybody here. I want to have some fun tonight. We're going to give away a ticket to Sales Boost. So we'll figure out how we're going to do that. I don't know. Maybe everybody comment Sales Boost in the comments and we'll like do a drawing at the end. Is that cool? Can we do that?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, go ahead and drop Sales Boost in the comments, and you want to stick around to the end. That way you find out who the winner is. Guys,
Yeah.
this is a unbelievable value. I'm telling you, like, you just heard what Sales Boost done for him. And so now he's giving away a free ticket to someone in the group, someone on here tonight. So please go ahead and drop Sales Boost. Oh, here it's coming. It's coming in. I see it. Everyone's dropping
Yeah.
it.
And, I like giving back. I'm very humble. I started with nothing like most of us. I didn't have a trust fund or anything like that. It was just my father and I. Went to the school of hard knocks and just did real hard things for a long time, made expensive mistakes over and over. And like most of us, we've got that mindset of like, well, I can't afford it, or that's not for me, or, only I can do this. And once we let that go and realize, like, if you're a pressure washing or window cleaner, roof cleaner, Christmas light guy, you've probably seen some successful guys out there. You've seen them on Facebook, you've seen them at the shows, you've seen them speaking. And then you're probably thinking, like, I want to be that one day. I want to be the Pat Clark. I want to be the Tommy Mello. But the problem is, and I've seen it for years because I've seen guys that started when I started still doing the single solo operator, chucking the truck deal. And I'm like, what's going on? And they've got this mindset. It's like, one, they just blame everybody else. They blame the economy. They blame employees. They say nobody wants to work. Nobody can do it, the way I want to do it. And I had that mindset too many, many years ago. And once I let that go and figured out, like, I need to build and empower a team to do the things together so we can grow this company and have the same vision, and want to grow personally and professionally together. That's when it really started happening. And again, sales boost. Pat taught me how to increase my average ticket, increase my closing percentage, and deliver packages and bundles. So immediately after I left sales boost, my average ticket went from like around $300 to almost $900 instantly. I didn't think that was possible. Nobody wanted to pay me $900. I tell myself all the time, but I had the mindset and the confidence leaving there to automatically increase my 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 ticket price.
Yep.
We were probably doing 9 or 10 cents a square foot for a house wash. Then we bumped it up to 15 cents back then. And then we were presenting everything to a customer instead of just a house wash they asked for, because we wanted to deliver at a high level and show them the value that Cape Fear Pro Wash is the best. And this is why you need all this stuff done. But going to these events, it will change your life if you go there with the right mindset, an open mindset, and actually take what you hear and implement it rather than saying, this is stupid, it's never going to work. Well, if it was stupid and never going to work, then you wouldn't see guys out there like Wesley Bloom, John Carmazin, Ramon Jones, like all these other guys out there just blowing up and just doing all these successful things.
Yeah, absolutely. Preach. Preach. That's what someone's saying. Preach. I can attest to that. Now, you've been in it a lot longer than I've been in it. And I've been to 2 huge events.
Yep.
That's my only experience so far. I just at this recently found out about sales boost at this last huge, so that's really been really intrigued to me. I'm telling you, like I'm itching on the end of the seat to go. I was telling my wife, like I need to figure out how I can get to this. Like I want to go, and I was so disappointed that I missed the. This is a PWMCA this last week, right? I
Yep.
was wanting to go to that so bad, but I had a conflict in my schedule. I was like, man, like I find so much value in going and just talking to guys like you, talking to other guys that's, maybe a little bit less known, but there's so much you can pick up just on the conversations, waiting on a class or at the bar, waiting on your food. I got so much from that my first year and my second year that I went to the huge. Like I could come back and see like direct reflect in my numbers from those conversations and different approaches that I took and put in my tool belt to use for certain jobs.
For sure.
So
And some of my best friends, they're not even local to me. Like I see more people in the industry that don't even live here than I do like live locally. It's like I'm not even kidding. I'll see Ryan Fox, Brett Madison like 6 times a year. Last year I think I saw Trevor Steele, I don't know, 4 times. And it's just that's where the fun happens. Like you go to the shows because you want to hear speakers, you want to see the cool products, you want to see what everybody's doing, how they're implementing things, but you get these underlying like effects of like not effects, but like just meetings and networks with people like you said, at the bar, at night, in between breaks. And that's where you start collaborating. And you want to build your tribe. You want to have like-minded individuals like yourself because, as we grow into entrepreneurs, we didn't start out as entrepreneurs for most of us. So our friends, they're just 9 to 5 workers, and that's all they know. And not saying that they're bad people, but they can't help you grow to the next level. So you want to find like-minded individuals that are trying to get to the next level like you, because they're going to keep pushing you and encouraging you and push you to do harder things and not be comfortable. It's so easy to get comfortable in this industry. And once you're in the comfort zone, like there's no growth. And I love saying there's no growth in your comfort zone and there's no comfort in your growth zone. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable and doing these things. If you don't like door knocking, guess what? Get out there and do some door knocking. If you're afraid of raising your prices, get out there and raise your prices and just watch your closing percentage. Make sure you don't drop below a certain percentage. You got to do the things that are uncomfortable to get the things that you want to be successful in life, or else you're going to sit here and just make excuses and point fingers and say, why can't I do it? And, he's only lucky because he's in a bigger market, or, he's blah, blah, blah. Like, stop making excuses for yourself and just start doing the things that you need to be doing.
yeah, accountability, self accountability.
And that's why joining a coaching group was the biggest thing for me, because I wasn't accountable to myself. And I would tell myself I'm going to go do these things and we're going to implement these processes, and I wouldn't do it. And all I'm doing is failing my team and failing my family because I was preventing growth, because I was holding ourselves back because I just wasn't accountable for myself. And then when I joined the coaching group, it's like we had weekly accountabilities. You had to call your shot. What are you going to do this week? Well, I'm going to go do this. All right. Well, we're checking back in 7 days. If you don't do it, then what are you going to do? And I remember one time I had to go buy a drum of bleach for somebody because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Was it painful? Yeah. I mean, it was an expensive mistake, but you know what? I held myself accountable by not doing it and, and delivering that bleach to that guy. I felt bad, but I also felt good. One, to be able to bless that guy with a drum of bleach. And then I knew that, like, you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistake, expensive mistake again. So,
Yeah. That's so when did you say that you joined Conquer? 28, 19,
19.
18,
Yeah, 19.
19, 19? I never heard about it until I was at the huge. And then when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. Like so I was really intrigued. And I think that's speaking for myself. And I think a lot of these guys, if you guys want to chime in, drop something in the comments, but like that's what I think that's where I'm at my stage of business, is that I want to get to that next level. I think we was kind of discussing. I was telling you that I want to go full time, but I know there's going to be some things I'm going to need to implement to help make that process sustainable going forward. And I know that through those the coaching programs and stuff like that, there's people who's been there where I'm at, who's took that step, who can lead and guide and direct me in that. So I think it's a great concept and a great thing to look into.
Yeah, and again, we've got this mindset we need to get over. I mean, one, we're just crazy entrepreneurs. I had an entrepreneurial seizure one day and said, I'm going to start a business for whatever reason was. Like you weren't happy with your job. Maybe you're working for somebody and like, I could do this better. I'm going to start my own thing. Or your parents are entrepreneurs. But either way, you did it. You're here.
Yeah.
And it's not easy being an entrepreneur, especially nowadays. Like anybody can be an entrepreneur, especially during COVID. Like you just go on YouTube and all of a sudden you're an entrepreneur because you watch a couple YouTube videos. So you're competing with a lot more people nowadays. But like if you keep telling yourself you can't do it, you're gonna hold yourself from doing the things that you want to do. If you keep saying I can't afford it, well, the problem really is you can't afford to not do it. Don't look at it as an expense. Look at it as a shortcut, like a fast track. Go to Monopoly and you just shoot around the whole thing. You're going to go and you're collecting those $200. Like you got to pay your dues to get where you're going. But I could sit here and I did for years and just constantly just reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And I was just wasting money. I mean, I was hiring, I was firing, I was doing the wrong things. I was just a mess because I knew it all. I knew it. Like
Yeah.
nobody could tell me anything. And then when I joined Conquer, I'm like, oh my Lord. Like, wow, what were you doing this whole time? Like, could we actually be right now with our business had we had done this years prior? So if you're looking at like, oh my God, it's $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. That's ridiculous. I'm never going to pay anybody that. Well, then guess what? You're probably going to grow $20,000 that year, very slow, very painfully. And then you're going to wonder why the guy next to you, your competition, is doing these things and they just grew by $150,000 because they're executing at a higher level. They've got the shortcut, they got the treasure map to get to where they need to go. And you're just sitting there just like pointing fingers. So invest in yourself. If you're not willing to invest in yourself to build yourself personally and professionally, how can you expect somebody to come work with you and grow with you? How can you expect a client to pay you $1,200 for a house wash and roof cleaning if you're going to just say pressure wash, roof cleaning, $1,200? Like you're not delivering the value. Like
Yeah.
there's no value there. Or we could talk about like I did a speech in Orlando with Angela about communication. Communication adds value equals value. If we talk about all these things and how we can beef up these estimates and give them the value, talk about the 5 steps to pressure washing, the 5-star low pressure house wash, and all the things we're going to do, taping off the keyholes and the door locks and the electrical outlets, and tell the customer all these things, and low pressure roof cleaning would have a 3-year limited warranty, and we're going to safely remove all this stuff. Like just go into it, adding all that value. Now that $1,200 estimate is like, oh wow, it's only $1,200. I get all this.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known that had I just been doing JC and just delivering estimates.
Yeah. You gotta. It's a value, man. People buy things of value. The value has got to outweigh the cost of what it is. So I think a lot of people fell short on that. And I got a little bit of a sales background. I did life insurance for a few years, and I picked up so much on that. So, and I always said, I was like, man, if I can sell life insurance, I think I can sell anything. I'm selling a piece
That's
of
not easy.
paper. I'm
Yeah, that's
selling
not easy.
paper. You know, I'm selling something to you that you're never going to benefit from. It's only for those left behind, right? So it's a promise, but you got to show the value in it. Like, and that's just what I'm saying. Like, yeah, little Johnny's going to get his school paid for. He's going to have a paid off house or this and that. So, and then like once you start mentioning those things, it's like the price is really not even the objective anymore.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
same way with the house wash, just like what you said. We do like a 1 year warranty on our house washes. So, and there's stipulations like you can't. We're in the mountains, so you can't be like backed up in a hole surrounded with. You get 3 hours of sunlight a day. Like that's just not
Right.
going to work. But and people find value in that. So it makes me
Absolutely.
stand apart from anybody else.
Yeah, and that's what sets us apart on the Christmas light business with Patriot Illumination. Like the value that we give our customers, we talk about so much and we just repeat it over and over and over. And that all starts with the initial phone call. When they get the phone call, they feel like they get excited. Like they don't realize it, but they're about to spend at least $2,000 with us. But they probably thought they were going to spend $200. So you got to deliver that value. And that all starts with the initial phone call. I love in-person estimates. I
Oh
think
yeah.
you're doing yourself a disservice by not doing in-person estimates. So you need to figure that out. And that's one thing that I learned with Sales Boost. Like do in-person estimates. People want to see you. They want to know that you're there. They want to know that you're, in it for them. And it's hard just to do an over the phone estimate and say, "Hey, Jeremy, we're gonna wash your house, but I can't see it. And if anything else comes up, we'll just add more to the ticket, or that's not going to be included because we didn't tell you about that because we didn't show up and we didn't want to do, give you some value by and I get it. I get it, guys. Like not everybody can do this. It's not easy as an owner operator to go out and do all these, and I'm not expecting everybody to change it right away. But once you see the value and how fast you can increase your average ticket and closing percentage by doing this stuff, like life's good. And if I'm doing an average ticket of $300 or an average ticket of $900, there's a huge difference on how many jobs I
Oh,
need to do a week at that point.
absolutely. So speaking of that, I can attest to this because um, I track my average ticket every year, just that way I know, right? So I remember these numbers are going to be very close. First year, uh, really not knowing what I was doing, I had an average ticket of like 540. That did like 65 jobs that year. Next year, did like 103 jobs, and the average ticket, was like 723 or something like that. And this
Good stuff,
year,
bro.
and what I know is my first year, I didn't do there again. I was learning like people, oh, you do online estimates, you do over the phone, you do in person. So I did a mixture. And the second year, that went up, almost it went up right at $200. And I implemented a little bit more in person estimates. And then last year, it went from like 720 to over $1,000. And
Hell yeah.
I did about 85 to 90% of my estimates in person. So this year, I'm trying to do every one of them in person. So, like, I've got 5 in person estimates tomorrow. So, and I will probably close 4 out of the 5 in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
You'll immediately see the results. Because again, if I did a virtual estimate, am I really delivering a lot of value to that customer? And I know many, many successful companies out there that do virtual. So I don't want to say you can't be successful doing that because I know you can. But
yeah.
as you start out and grow your company, it is so important to get out there, shake hand with the customer, talk to them, find out, what's going on with them. Because if you're doing two things while you're there, hopefully you have a wrap vehicle, you have a nice uniform, a name tag, something like that. So now you're like getting some marketing going because your vehicle's driving through the neighborhoods. The neighbors are seeing it. They're all out there poking, like, what's Jeremy going on out there? Like, what's he getting done there? Is he getting a new roof? Oh, he's got a pressure washing guy. I need pressure washing. Then you're walking around, you give them a lookbook or give them something to see some work, some examples. and they called you for the pressure washing, but they didn't know that they needed dryer vent cleaning or the roof cleaned or the gutter cleaned. So you're like, let me just walk around your house, Jeremy. I'll show you some stuff, or let me get an estimate together and I'll present everything to you. Then you go back. Hey, Jeremy, I know you wanted just the pressure washing estimate, and I see that your house is dirty, and we're going to talk about that too. But while I was walking around, I noticed that your gutters were dirty. Your sidewalk is getting a little grimy. It's a little slippery because it's rainy out there. And I'd hate to see for somebody to trip and fall. So I want to just give you all the options that we can offer you and give you a bundled package so we can offer a discount. We're here. We're going to do the house washing. Why not give you a discount, add some value to that? This way you don't have to worry about calling us back out here in 2 or 3 weeks when you realize that, something else going on. Like, you just threw all this stuff at the homeowner. They didn't realize that their roof was dirty or it could be cleaned because they thought it had to be replaced. They didn't realize the dryer vent was dirty. They just figured that the dryer's broken. They just figured that the concrete's always gonna be slippery because that's what it does when it gets dirty. So by presenting all this stuff to them, you're like, here's package A, here's, good, better, best, whatever, how you want to do it. And then give them discounts, 5, 10, 15%. They get excited because now they feel like they're winning because they're saving money. You don't have to go back 3 times to do 3 different services. And now you guys just locked in a $1,200 job, and they can spend the day there and go on to the neighbor's house next door and do the house wash.
Oh, yeah. You're better off to make more money in one location than the same amount of money in 5 locations all
100%.
day. Route
Yes.
density.
Yeah, when I hear guys in the washing, more in the Christmas light, I can immediately tell that they have a low average ticket. I mean, I've talked to guys and they're like, "Yeah, we did 900 jobs this year," and right away, like I don't even have to hear anything else. I'm like, "What's your average ticket?" And they're like, $600, and they're all excited about it. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, so you do 900 jobs at $600. I did 350 at a $2,000 average ticket. Which one would you rather be doing? Like, I'll take the 300 all day long. I'm not about quantity, I'm about quality and having a higher gross on that average ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick here, before we dive even farther deeper into this, I just want to address this question here. I spoke with JC about this before we got on, and I meant to do this at the beginning, but then I just got carried away with the show. So, hey, we call this the worst podcast ever. So, hold me to it. But so Blue Line, can we address the elephant in the room that's not in the room? He is about the size of an elephant, or at least he is. At least he thinks he is. But the fresh. So, Mike, if you're still on, Mike was on a few minutes ago. Mike is not with us tonight. He has a family situation. I think we addressed that a little bit last week when he was talking about his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law had a heart attack last week. He's been on life support, and tonight they are making a very difficult decision to remove that. So he is there with his sister and the family during this difficult time. So if you're the praying type, please pray for Mike, pray for his sister, pray for the family, the kids. We greatly appreciate that. So sorry I didn't address this quicker and sooner, but I saw that comment and I didn't want to let it pass by before we started getting a little bit deeper into the packages and stuff. So that's why Mike's not here, even though he is commenting in some of these forums on Facebook. So we appreciate you guys and just pray for Mike and the family. But I wanted to dive back in on onto the package situation when you're speaking about packages, because I think that and probably some of us have maybe even offered packages and maybe not even really realized that we offer it. But is it from like a psychological standpoint? I would say, do you arrange it in any certain order? Do you put like the highest one first or the lowest one, or does that factor in? Is there any psychology behind that?
Yeah, I like to put the highest one first. We want to shock them, but show them the max value, and then bring it down. I'm going to talk more on the Christmas light side of things. So I hope you guys don't mind any more washers, but like I am heavily involved in the Christmas light business. Not so much the washing, but I get really excited about washing lights. But we want to show them everything. Show them everything's available. And another tactic that I learned from Ryan Lee with Landscape Lighting Live. Landscape Lighting Secrets is the price marinade. So, if you have a good idea and you're pretty good on your numbers, and you go up to a house and you can just spit out a number and try not to get this wrong, but tell a customer like, oh man, this is going to be like a $3,000 job. But let me just walk around your house and I'll get some information for you. Get back. So now they're stewing on this saying $3,000. Like, good God. Like, why? Why is it gonna be $3,000? And then you come back and like, Jeremy, got some good news for you. Like, it's not going to be $3,000. It's actually going to be only $1,800. I was way off on the number, but here we're talking about how we can add value and then go through the numbers, because now they like this whole time they're like thinking, why is it $3,000? Then you come at them at the $1,800. You're like, oh my God, like, whew. All right, now we can talk about something. So the price marinade, I took that from Ryan Lee. But yeah, it is a mind game. You got to get them the right mindset and get them excited. But like, again, you got to be talking value to the customer. It's not like roof cleaning, house washing, gutter cleaning. Like, I like keywords. Like, our estimates say 5-star low pressure house washing, 5-star low pressure roof cleaning, 5-star concrete cleaning, because everybody wants a 5-star service. So if I keep putting 5 stars in there, they're thinking they're going to get the 5-star service, and they do. I think I haven't checked. I think it's like over 600 5-star reviews, because we're talking about 5 stars all the time. Then when we go ask for a 5-star review, that's on the postcard that we leave them with the QR code that gets them direct to the link. And then Liz calls and says, how did everything go? Did you get a 5-star service? Great. We'd love the opportunity for us to leave a 5-star review. Well, guess what? They got the 5-star service, and then they're going to refer us to their friends, and their friends are going to get the 5-star service. So it's all about the value.
Absolutely.
I trademarked that. So nobody else can use that. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. You guys can take that.
Ben Gregory says that's brilliant. Ben's another
He's
brilliant
a brilliant person. Yes.
I'm glad to call Ben a friend.
I just talked to him, I think it was last night, actually, or maybe 2 nights ago. I forget. But yeah, great guy.
He's a rock star. Funny enough, though, how we met at the Huge, and then where he's from and where I'm from is not too far. So there's hope for me yet. I like that terminology, and I think a lot of people don't think about that. They just go out and I think they talk technician minded instead of sales minded toward people and the terminology and stuff.
Yeah, and have fun with it too. Like, everybody does good, better, best, silver, gold, bronze, A, B, C. Like, have fun with it. If you're like a sports fan and your local area's big sports team, do that. Like, we're on the coast, so we have like the Anchor, the Coastal, and the I don't know, the Ocean Spray or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be black and white when you're doing this. And our estimates and our emails, we're fun people. Like, we are the fun company. I'm a funpreneur, as I tell everybody. If I can't have fun doing it, I ain't doing it. Like, I don't stain, I don't seal, I don't paint. I suck at it, and I'll never want to do it. So, like, everything we do, from the second that they get the phone call, like, we got the happiest person answering the phone, like, all the time, always happy. That plays a big play into whether or not they're going to schedule an estimate with you too, and how that next step will go with the in-person sales. I mean, if the person in the office or your virtual assistant gets them excited, then they're going to be excited to the salesperson. If the salesperson's excited and they sell a job, they're going to be excited to see the technicians come out there. So all these little things play into how you mold your company. Culture is huge, a part of that. Like, if your guys aren't happy to come to work for you, well, guess what? They're going to do some shitty work, and you're going to get some shitty reviews, and you're not going to get referrals. You're going to get a bunch of callbacks, and then you're going to have headaches, and then you're going to point fingers and blame everybody, when in reality, it's the fingers need to come back at you, because you're probably the root cause of this.
Right. Absolutely. So you mentioned virtual assistants, and I've seen a couple of your videos here lately, and you talked about virtual assistants. That might be something that I'm interested in. That's what I was telling my wife there about 2 weeks ago, that I feel like, obviously being part-time, I would love to have someone to help me reach out to potential commercial clients, code outreach, or my phone's not ringing off the hook, so I don't know that I necessarily need someone to like answer the phone for me at this point. But what all can a virtual assistant do for you?
All right. So first question: are you the only person answering your phone?
Me, yes,
Okay. So when you're out doing your full time job, who's answering the phone?
I do.
Like while you're working though?
Yeah,
So you get every phone call?
so the only time I do not get a phone call if I am legit in a patient's room that's on a ventilator and I'm doing something. I don't. That
Uh,
is that has happened. It has, but it doesn't happen often.
okay.
Uh,
Well, that's good. That's good. All
so,
right.
but
So
yeah, I'll straight up walk out of a room. I don't. I mean, like this is business. Like
like this
the,
ain't job ain't forever, but this
hospital,
customer's
yeah, the
forever.
hospital ain't forever. This is that might as well be the part time job, but
All right,
but
so
no.
this is what
I
I
mean,
want everybody that's listening. I want you to think and I want you to be honest because I was
yeah,
there. I was the owner operator. I was washing. I was doing the estimates. I was doing the invoicing. I was doing the training. I was answering the phone. I was on the roof trying to juggle a phone while doing a roof cleaning, while yelling at my father, probably firing him from the roof because he wasn't listening to me. I've done it all. Like I started at ground zero, just like y'all. And I just want to think simple math. Like I'm not a great mathematician. So you've got some incredible numbers. So I'm not going to use you as an example, but
okay,
let's just say your average ticket was $500. All right, because I don't want to think big because you had some big numbers. I can't do that much math right now. And let's say your closing percentage was 50%, which is typically low. But again, I just want simple numbers. So for every 4 phone calls, let me get the 4 there, right? We're going to close 2 of those jobs because we've got a 50% closing rate. And if each job is $500, that's $1,000. So for every 4 phone calls, we're likely to close $1,000 of work. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Pretty simple math. All
tracking.
right. Um, Now, if we're out on the job, we're the owner, we're the operator, we're washing. We don't hear the phone because the pressure washer's running. We're talking to the customer, the homeowner. We don't want to just say, "Hey, I'll be right back, Mike. We're gonna go talk to this customer that's calling because he's more important than you. I just completed this job." That call's going to voicemail.
Yeah,
So for every phone call, 4 phone calls that we miss, that's an opportunity of $1,000 because we'll get a call them back. But if they're like me and I call a company and I get a voicemail, I'm not going to leave a voice message. I'm sorry. Like you didn't answer the phone, I'm going on to the next person. Or you try calling them back and they're busy, they don't answer the phone. So not only did we paid for the marketing because we had some type of ad spend, whether it's Google, Facebook, yard sign, door hanger, vehicle wrap, whatever. There's some type of money sent in unless it's a referral. So for every 4 phone calls we're missing out on $1,000, and that's just the simple math. Hopefully, we're missing out on more than that because we have a higher closing percentage and a higher average ticket.
right.
But to have somebody answering the phone like a virtual assistant, like we have one that started with us in October, we don't miss phone calls. And if we do, we're like immediately calling back because both the phones are ringing. But we eliminated a lot of that opportunity. And I like to tell everybody when it comes to a virtual assistant, they can do everything that you need them to do within your office except for physically moving paper. So they can do any type of admin, work with your CRM, emails, invoicing, estimates, social media posting, building out SOPs, building out policies, follow ups. I've got an inbound outbound caller. She will build out a database for multifamily properties within a 3 hour radius, and then she calls every single property. And we got like all the stuff in the database: the name, the address, the property manager, the number of units, the number of buildings, the number of floors. So we have all the stuff built out, and then she'll follow up with them with an email, thanking them for their time. If they need any services, let us know. So it's so endless on the amount of work they can do, but it's more important like how much time can you buy back to focus on the higher level things that you need to be focused on. You don't need to be responding to emails if it's basic emails. You don't need to be sending off invoices. No offense, like the admin people, that's just a lower level task, like a 15, $20 hour task that you don't need to be focusing on. You need to be focused on the $250, $300 task to be going selling some more, to be training somebody to get on another truck to get that rig going. Whatever it is, those are the tasks that you need to be focused on. So that's why it's important. Again, stop thinking of it as an expense, thinking about how much time I can buy back to build my company and grow my empire versus doing these things. Because let's face it, owner operator, you're working 8, 10 hours a day out washing, then you're doing estimates, and then you're following up with emails, and then you're sending off invoices. You might have tucked Timmy into bed and said goodnight. Your wife probably hates you at this point because you're just burned out and never have time for anybody. Been
Yeah.
there, done that. I remember my
Yep.
kids saying we're on the beach one day and we had to leave midday so I can go do a house wash. She said, "Dad, you work too much." And it was true because I was doing everything myself.
Yeah.
I just stole so much time from my family and from myself because I had to do everything myself, I thought.
It does feel a bit overwhelming and disappointing at the same time. Just along what you just said is, I'm in that position where I'm doing all the estimates, I'm doing all the calls, I'm doing all the washing, and I still work another job. But like on my days off from the hospital, I'm washing, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses a day, coming in, trying to send out estimates, sending invoices, asking for reviews. So it gets just a little bit overwhelming sometimes because I'm like, did I send that? And there's been months or there's been times where I've not sent like an invoice for like a month and a half. And I'm like, how did I forget to do that? Like
Yeah.
I didn't mark the work order completed because I didn't mark it done at the job because I got a phone call and I forgot to do that. And I'm sitting here wrapping my head around it.
Yeah. So imagine you worked your shift at the hospital and then you did your washing and you came home and you put your phone down and you got to enjoy life for a minute because you knew that the invoice got sent off. You knew the email got followed up on. You knew that you sent out an estimate 3 days ago and you haven't heard back, but somebody did follow up with them and ask them with a text message, email, or even a phone call to see if they're ready to go ahead and schedule. Like, how much better would your life be that if that stuff was taken care of and you're not going to sleep like, shoot, did I send off that email?
Oh, yeah.
And then you pull out your phone, and you got to go look at it. And it's like now your brain's racing again. Like, what else did I do today? So if you had that accountability, like the coach, somebody
Yeah.
working with you, that's why I love the virtual assistants. I mean, you can get them very affordable, um, and they're absolute rock stars. I've got 4 or 5 of them, I forget, and they run circles around most American staff. I mean, they want to work with you, they want to grow with you. You don't have to worry about looking over their shoulder if they're going to do things. Like they will help you build out systems and processes and SOPs. It's just so incredible all the things they can do. But the problem is, again, it comes back to that mindset. Like, I can't afford them. I can't do this. I'm not ready to hire. What if I can't get the jobs? Well, the problem is you again. If you do it and you hire, the work will come. You'll start closing more jobs because your files will be better. You won't have to worry about AR because the invoices again sent in daily. They're asking for the reviews. They're doing all the things that you don't need to be doing.
Yeah. No, that makes plenty of sense. It's almost like, in a sense, you can't afford not to have them, you know, instead of looking at it from a cost expense. I mean, I know it's a cost expense, but what's it costing you not to have someone to help you do that? I mean, it's another person in business with you, pretty much. It's what it seems like.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put in the comments the company that we use, and we have 4 of them.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's 4 of them now. Unique Genius
Yes.
Virtual Assistants. It's so incredible. And here's the other thing too. When you try and go and hire somebody, let's think about this process real quick. If I want to hire somebody, what are some things I got to do? I got to write a job ad. I got to post it on Indeed, Facebook, Monster, whatever it is. Then I got to review all these resumes, filter out through all the BS. And then I got to schedule interviews. So if I'm scheduling an interview, that's taking away time from production. And then I got to do the interview. Then only 2 of them showed up out of 10, and none of them are qualified. So then we got to do it again. With a VA through Unique Genius, pretty cool. They do all that work for you. You call them up and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I need somebody to do social media, inbound, outbound calls, and work my CRM. Perfect, Jeremy. Let me get back to you. We're going to find somebody that fits your best unique genius. And then they place you. You do a screening call. You see if it's a good fit for you and a good fit for them because you got to be compatible to work together. And then within a week, you already have somebody working for you and you can start training. They can build out the system and the processes for you while you're training them.
That's awesome.
All right,
Sounds
so I
so
just
nice.
put in unique genius. Hey, so I want to jump back up if you don't mind because I like Christmas
Yep.
and I had a couple Christmas like comments in
I,
here.
I seen a
Um,
couple guys asking some questions. Let me see. There's one up here with Andy. I don't know if you caught this one. Can you see that one there?
yeah. So I want to know a little bit more. We're talking about a larger package. So I'll tell you a story, Andy, and I love this. And this goes for anything, whether you're doing washing, concrete coatings, or well, I really don't know a whole lot about concrete coatings. So I won't even talk about that. But Christmas lights, um, it took me years to get a lot of our commercial clients, and it was years of no, no, no. And I love no's because no means I'm coming back and I'm going to talk to you until you escort me off your property because you're going to be my customer one day and I'm going to prove to you we have the best value for you. So I went back to this customer and she's like, JC, you know what? Just call me back in a week. We'll schedule a time and you can give me an estimate. And I went to this property and they had some Christmas lights on their property and it was hideous, absolute horrendous. And I went and I met with her and we'll call her Sue. And I was like, Sue, I was like, why, what's the reason why you guys have lights on here and nowhere else in the building? I didn't say those lights look like shit and you should stop doing this. I just asked the question. They're like, well, this is what they recommend, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, well, this is what we're gonna do. And she's like, by the way, you can give me an estimate, but there's no way they're gonna approve more than $9,000. I'm like, perfect, great. So I provide the estimate well above $9,000 because I don't want to give them what they asked for. I want to give them options. I'd rather them tell me no, just like the packages and the bundles. Don't give them what they asked for. I'd rather them tell me no and see what's available to them than them not knowing and feel like they got gypped out on something because they didn't know. Like if I did a Christmas light job and only gave a roof line, they didn't know we did REITs. Well, why didn't you tell me we did REITs? Well, I'm going to tell you everything we do. So I ended up giving a $17,000 estimate that got approved, and we've done it for the last 5 years. Um, so as you're building these packages out, find out what their budget is. It's so important to try and figure that out. They usually won't tell you, but sometimes they might. And always go above and beyond the package and let them know, like, look, I understand your budget was $9,000, but I wanted to give you some options. Maybe you like the wreath, maybe you like the tree, maybe you like the ground lighting better. I just wanted you to see the different options available instead of it giving you exactly what you want. Because once they see it, then they're going to want it and they're not going to say no. They're going to be like, well, let me see how we can move some money around and make this work because I want those. I want the lights. I want the wreath. I want the garland. I want the roof lighting. So always over deliver on these estimates to your commercial clients, even your residential clients, because you just never know. And if we assume they're going to say no, well, then you're selling yourself short.
Yeah, I've learned to never assume anything about my customers. I mean, uh, and maybe you've got a story like that, but I I've often heard from when I first started out from family members, you're high, you're expensive. We come from poor upbringings and budgets and really tight things and saying no. And so when I priced this, I want it to kind of be like a premier premium service. That's what I want to present myself as. So I knew from out of the gate that I needed to have decent pricing, and and I would get that from like some family members, not a lot, but and even some people that I knew, like, oh, that's expensive, that's a lot, and I'm like, but is it really? Because like, sometimes I thought to myself, maybe it is a lot, but then I would have people pay me what I asked, whatever I quoted it for, and I just quoted everybody the same amount per square foot, no matter if you were in a single wide trailer or a 5,000 square foot house. And I just learned that different people value different things differently. So like I might would wash that single wide trailer and they would pay me what I asked because they just valued having a clean home. And then, there's those 5,000 square foot houses that wouldn't pay me what I was asking because they thought it was too expensive. So it's just,
Yeah.
I've just learned it's like you don't judge a book by its cover. And it's a lot like that in sales as well.
Yeah, and I'll just fun story about that. During COVID, I bought a Christmas light company out and went to do these houses that he had. And I went to a single wide trailer that had I done the estimate for this customer, I would have just said, like, there's no chance. Like they can afford this. This lady loved Christmas. She had a $1,200 Christmas light job in her house that took us 30 minutes to do. But she loved Christmas and saved $100 every single month throughout the year to put those lights up because it brought her joy.
Yeah.
And if I just immediately said, like, ha, and it's the same thing like the other ones. Like, let's go to the mansions. Like, oh God, it's gonna be a good one. They're gonna get like $8,000 in this house. And then I present a $5,000 estimate, and they're like, oh man, I thought it was gonna be like $300. Like, that's too expensive. So yeah, just don't sell yourself short.
Absolutely. While we're speaking on Christmas, Dylan's got a question about how do you handle packages for Christmas lights? He gets it with washing, but not holiday lights.
Dylan, come to Sales Boost and I'll show you everything, buddy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, same thing, man. Just again, you have different options. You have roof lighting, you have wreath, you have garland, you have ground lighting, you have bushes, you have spritzers. Whatever you're gonna sell, you don't need to sell everything. Um, Break it up, and if I like to do um, our we've got three packages. We've got the Grinch, the Buddy Elf, and Clark Griswold. The Grinch is going to be a roof line, a wreath, and their columns. Buddy the Elf will be roof, wreath, garland, ground lighting, and columns. And then the last package, the Clark Griswold, is where we add all the minis because the minis I can't stand and it takes a lot of time to do trees. So that's how we break it out. Is those three different options. You can do it however you like. You can do front of roof and side of the roof, or front of the roof and do the gables and the ridge and do stuff like that and add stuff like that into the options. Whatever works for you.
Nice. I like those package names. You said the Buddy Elf, the Griswold.
Clark, yeah, the Grinch, Buddy the Elf, and Clark Griswold.
Grinch. I love it, man.
Nobody wants to be the Grinch. So
nobody wants to be the Grinch. Nobody. That's good marketing, man. That's good. That's a good play on words, psychology. No one wants to be the Grinch. I love it.
I don't tell them that. They tell me that.
Oh, they think that. They think that. Like, I mean, that's good. That is good. Let's see here. I was trying to see if there was a couple more questions. Let's see. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, he's dropping some really good value here. I hope you guys are picking up what he's putting down. Let's see. I don't know if I missed it. Oh, here we go. Here's a good question, JC. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if you've seen this. Do you do any coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, something I've been kind of doing for a little while. I've got Beyond the Bulbs, which is like a mastermind group that I'm a part of with Brett, Ryan, and Brett Madison, Ryan Fox, and Matt Hyden with Clippa. So I do that. That's a fun mastermind group for Christmas lights specifically, where we do monthly meetings and kind of like just a high level group where we just talk about Christmas lights year round. Because here's the thing with Christmas lights, most guys get all excited. They hang lights October, November, December. They take 2 weeks off. They take their lights down in January. They hang their business model up with the lights in the warehouse, and that's it. They don't think about it till Christmas in July. So we got the accountability group for that. And then I'm also doing like a one-on-one smaller group coaching for like all business mindset, where we do some more like higher level different applications, talking about marketing, numbers. And like I talked about earlier, I'm a funpreneur. Most people don't like numbers like myself. I'm not Dan Plata. He likes to make numbers sexy. I just didn't like numbers, but now that I can have fun doing it, we can start realizing some things. So here's like a little piece of fun I like to do is like grab a yard sign at your office and ask your team, like, how much is this yard sign worth? And some of them might say like $15, $10, $30. And you got to know what your average ticket is. But no, like for you said your average ticket was what, 1,200, Jeremy? What was it?
It's just a little over 1,000 with washing.
So, yeah, so that yard sign is worth $1,000, right? Because if it's sitting in your shop, it ain't doing nothing. Nobody's calling it, but you're putting it out there. That's $1,000 opportunity right there. Yeah. So we got to have fun understanding those things. We need to understand like all these metrics, like how many phone calls does it take for you to actually book an estimate, and how many estimates does it take for you to convert that estimate into a customer? And then what is the customer acquisition cost? Like, how did you get that customer? Was it a yard sign, door hanger, referral? Like all these things that we don't think about, because I like to say we don't know what we don't know. We get down and dirty and start talking about it. So it's actually fun. And then you like start gamifying things and you're like, holy cow. Like I've been doing this wrong the whole time. I've been spending $1,000 EDM and I got no ROI, but I, do a couple $100 on door hangers and yard signs. And that's my best generator of ROI.
Yeah.
So the coaching that I do with everybody is like understanding the numbers, understanding those metrics, and pretty much everything that Conquer gave me to grow my company. Again, it's a shortcut to success. We could sit here turning the wheels every single month and you're like, oh, that's too expensive. I can't afford it. But again, if we can increase your average ticket and your closing percentage right away by implementing things and adding value, communicating with your customers better, understanding our numbers better, now your gross profit or your revenue is going up, your net profit's going up, your capacity is going up, and then that number that you talked about that you said was too expensive, now it's like, shoot, I wish I did that sooner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ben's got a good question here for you. I don't want to skip out on this one. I think I know the answer to this.
Every day.
Now. Now.
Every day.
Now.
And
I've
that's the
heard you
thing. It's
play it
like,
now.
and I ask this question all the time, every single year, to everybody. And I just did it. It was like a month ago. I asked it in a bunch of groups. I'm like, when do you start marketing? And I've heard July, I've heard September, I even heard October, which really made me laugh because like we're balls to the wall October installing lights. And here's the thing, like, especially for commercial clients, like you can't stop marketing to them. They just don't know they need your services. They don't even know you have services available to them, but they want it. And they have budgets, and most of their budgets are done in October. So if we're trying to market to them in September the following year, well, their budget's already depleted. There's no money left over there. So if you start hitting them early, January, even December after Christmas, I don't care. They're still working. They don't take the whole month off. Just getting out there so that you can make them aware of your services and, let them know you want to be a partner and, just growing their Christmas experience for their customers, their residents, whatever it is. But, you'll see a higher return on commercial marketing now versus residential, but that doesn't mean you can't get residential clients asking for estimates, especially if you're offering incentives to try and book now.
So just out of curiosity, do you, and this is just totally come to my head, and I don't think, do you do like offer a payment plan, like a subscription model for Christmas light customers?
So we only do that early on the year. Like in January, we reach out to our clients that just got done taking the lights down and anybody who told us no. And then we'll offer a 10-month or 11-month payment program to
Yeah.
break it up. And, for the people that have been working with us, it's cool. They know our services, they understand it. And I've had people who say, I don't want that. Here's 50%. Like we always require a deposit. And then some say, yeah, we'll take the payment plan, just break it up. And then you go back to the people who told you earlier in the year, like, oh my God, this is so expensive. Like, Jeremy, well, you told us in November that these lights are really expensive. And I get it. It's right before Christmas and you have budgets and, presents you want to buy. But now we're offering your payment program for the next 11 months. So that $1,200 roof lighting job that we offered you, I'm going to do it over the next 11 months and just make it $110 easy payments for you. So now it's affordable. You can worry about the presents and be able to afford all that stuff. And we get your lights installed in October so you can enjoy your lights even longer.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was something that I thought of when I was doing it. Even though I was late in the game, I was like, man, I'm getting a lot of people like, well, this is expensive. I'm like, well, maybe it's because I come in November and then we're talking about, I think my average ticket was like $2,300 on that. But it's like, yeah, I get it. Christmas is coming up. You're buying gifts. That's Black Friday. You've been shopping, this and that. So I was like, I wonder if you could set a payment plan up, or if you could offer that in somehow. So I'm glad you answered that. And Brenda says, who do you use for the payment plan? Is that just something that you set up through your CRM where you automatically charge the card like
Yeah.
monthly?
Square does not. We have Square for all our processing. I don't think they have payment plans because we have to do it manually right now. And Stripe, I know you can do a payment plan on it. The reason why we haven't switched to Stripe because we have so few that, well, not so few. It's actually like 25, but for some reason my office manager has it down and just doesn't mind doing it through Square. But yeah, I know Stripe does do that as well. And then
Okay.
Crime Fighter asked a question about the virtual assistants. We use Unique Genius virtual assistants. It's unique-genius.com.
Here it is. Got it right there.
There you go. Thank you.
Check it out. Be sure. I'll leave that up for a second there. And Dylan's coming back with another Christmas like question.
Let's bring the Christmas.
Let's bring
I'm
it.
feeling Grinchy.
Christmas in February. Let's go. Let's say year one residential Christmas lights, you quote it roofline. Do you offer all the options each year after that as well? Or even though they previously did? So I guess you're saying you only did
Yeah.
this one thing the first year. Do you offer more the next year?
No, we're not going to go back and requote everything, but every time we do book somebody, we do ask them if they like to add anything because they've seen pictures, they've seen, Facebook posts and stuff like that. So they are aware about maybe they couldn't afford it the first year. But it is a pretty high percentage of those that come back the second year and do add stuff.
Yeah, just from my experience, I know that the one of the ones I did, the lady had it was a nice little ticket house, and she said next year when you come back, so I didn't know that I'm going back. She said next year when you come back, I want this tree done, and it's this big tree, and I know you're going to know because I'm going to have to look at what she's talking about, but she wants lights hanging down,
Hmm.
almost like a rain shower. I don't
Yep.
really, so I guess I'll be figuring that one out.
Yeah, we
Maybe.
call those whimsicals. We actually blew up our area with those 5 years ago for this real prestigious neighborhood. We did three entrances for them, and two of them were like these large oak trees with these lights hanging down. And there's different ways of doing. There's rice lights they're called, but we just take standard mini lights and then we run zip line through the tree, and just every 6 feet or so, we'll put in a inline female, and then drop a mini light down. If it touches the ground, we'll loop it back up and zip tie it. But yeah, it's super popular here.
I really like that. That sounds awesome. Ben, do you think permanent lights will affect the market?
Yeah, yes and no. It is a higher ticket for doing the permanent lighting, so it's a different client. So it's not for everybody, but I'm not personally completely sold on it for residential yet, and for on commercial. So I do say it's smart to have it as an option in your tool bag to be able to offer it. But if you're talking about $2,500 roof line for somebody versus I don't know, $12,000 roof line for the permanent lighting, the way people are moving so often, stuff like that, some of them might not see the value to that, but people who have disposable money will be all about it. It's just not something we're offering, and it's just not for us. Again, like I said, we're not. I don't want to do everything that's out there because we want to be experts in what we do. Like, we don't do a lot of ridge lines and gables and stuff like that, just because I don't like my guys up there. We don't do windows, door frames, and garages either. And we still do a lot of work by telling people no.
Do you do a lot of trees?
Yeah, I have a love hate relationship with trees, especially earlier on in the business. It's the fastest way to lose a lot of money with underestimating trees. Because if I go look at that tree and I say that's a 7 mini tree and it was 12 minis,
Yeah,
plus 5 minis that I underestimated, 5 times 50 is $250 that I shorted myself on that. And I'm not going to go knock on your door, Jeremy, and tell you, hey, I screwed up, so pay me.
yeah.
So then I hope that the customer calls us back the next year, and then we can try and make the money back. But I would never go back and raise the price even the second year. It's like we're just going to eat it. It was our mistake. We should have been done better at estimating.
I've aided a lot, and watching and a tree on a job or two with the lights. Um, I had I did one tree. I should say I did one tree, but I didn't do the trunk. Right, I did. So the lady calls me. It's a 40. It's about a 35 to 40 foot cedar tree. So she's in this competition, and I'm out there, and I'm like, she called me. She's like, we're on a lift. The lift's stuck. We don't know what we're doing. We're calling a professional, and they said that you were a professional. I was like, yeah, yeah, I am. I am. Like,
Yeah,
I
the best.
did, I did like three jobs, but I knew how to do it. So, anyways, we ended up doing like 1,000 feet of C7s on this tree. And what I really wasn't anticipating is I didn't rent a lift. So we straight up went out there with our 40-foot water fed tow and the hook and walked us around. It took us a couple hours. Knowing what I know now, I wish I'd had that lift, but I really wish I'd had that lift taking them things down because that was something else. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure JC, you got your own lift, right?
Yeah, we do have our lift. I don't use a lot on trees, and I actually I'm so lazy, if you will. I don't know the word lazy. I guess spoiled that I do have a lift that I'll pull a lift out on jobs that I don't need a lift, but I've got the lift. I'm just going to use it because it's sitting there.
Yeah.
So it is nice to have that thing available. And I'm getting
Yeah.
older. Like there's jobs that I did 5 years ago that I just don't feel safe walking on anymore. I'm not as nimble and I'm a lot more brittle than I was. So it's just a nice peace of mind that if we don't bid the lift on the job and then we get there, we're like, well, this is going to be a lift job today. We just go hook it up real quick and knock it out.
Yeah. One thing I've learned that cougar paws are my friend. Pitch hoppers
Mhm.
are great. And I love the goat.
Oh yeah, the goat's the
And I'm
boss.
not a I'm a pretty big boy to be on a roof. I go about 280, so that's a whole lot of weight walking around on me. But
But
I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you for the super chat. As always, we appreciate. I want to say thanks to everyone who donated last week as well. We greatly appreciate it. So for those of you who don't know, the super chats and the donations, they just go to help keeping the podcast going as far as our equipment and our subscription charges through StreamYard. So we greatly appreciate you all doing that. It's a great big help.
hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we got a good crew. We love everyone on here. They're very supportive and very engaging. So, hey, Mike. By the way, pressure washing by Sterling Wash. That's Michael. If you want to know what happened, where the fresh is, go back about to the 25-minute mark. I addressed it in there 25 to 30 minutes. I talked about it. Mike's okay, but if you want the spill, I won't get into that again. Check that out about the 25-minute mark. Let's see, guys. Did we miss anybody's questions? I think that's it. Well, JC, I've had a lot of fun tonight, and I want to be respectful of your time. I know it's we're about an hour past your bedtime already, and so I know we have the sales boost ticket to give away, and I know
Yeah, I've got
we have a lot of people that commented on early in, and some people who's just jumped in. And by the way, if you just jumped in, JC is going to be giving away a free sales boost live ticket. And that's coming up on what, March 20th through the 23rd? Is that the dates, I
yes, sir.
believe?
Yep,
So
at
he's
Wilmington,
giving
North
away. I
Carolina.
mean, guys, this is invaluable, really. He's giving it to you for free, just for being part of our tribe, our family. So go ahead, and if you haven't already, drop sales boost in the comments, and JC is going to pick out someone to give this ticket to.
Yeah, so I've got a spinning wheel thing over here that I've got all the names in there, and I feel bad because a lot of these guys are coming across as Facebook users, so I can't tell
Yeah,
who it
yeah.
is. So if you see that or you're not sure, go ahead and drop sales boost in the comment below. I'll add you to the little spin wheel action. I'll get Vanna White. She's about to pull the trigger and spin this wheel, but
Somebody here, if this is you, you need to click on StreamYard. It's right above in the description. It says grant StreamYard access. You need to click on that. That way we know who you are. You're going to miss out on it. You can miss out on this ticket because we don't know who you are. So we'll give it just a second, give you a second and do that. Now, this is invaluable.
yeah, if anybody else has any more questions, let me, as I'm entering all these names in over here, I'll
Yeah.
ask some questions because this is fun. I'll talk for another hour. I really enjoy this.
Oh yeah. I could go on all night. I've got my office is my bedroom, so I got a green screen up. That's where we're at. Sales boost, absolutely, everybody. Does anybody got any more questions? Sales, marketing,
Everybody's excited about sales boost now.
anything? When's everybody? Does anybody
Andy,
do quick
sales boost
fire?
is in Wilmington, North Carolina, March 20th to the 23rd.
Did I miss that? Oh yeah. See, oh, there it is. Well, that's on the coast, right? That's coast.
Yeah. So what
Never
branch were
been
you
there.
in?
National Guard, Army National Guard, 6 years.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I'm a good old Navy boy, so
I got medical discharged out. Unfortunately, I have a little I'm a little sour about it. I feel like I feel like they got me. I enjoyed my time there. Don't get me wrong. I learned a lot. It helped me grow up when I was 18. But here's the kicker is in the guard, you either have to do 180 days. I think it's 180 days of active service to be to get your veteran benefits, or 6 years of non-active, like such as guard or reserve or something like that, to qualify for veteran benefits. Well, this guy got discharged at 5 years, 6 months, and like 27 days.
Good
So
Lord.
I got a little salt in this one, and
Oh,
so
man.
I get none of those. So that's now I'm 36, and I sure ain't going back for a year to get
um, yeah, that's shitty, man. I hate that for you.
it.
Mike Sterling, I'm out of Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where I've been I really live in Hampstead, but I say Wilmington.
Long way from Kentucky, Carolina, Skyrise. Yeah, yeah, Brenda.
All right. I
We appreciate your dad's service, Brenda. Absolutely.
think I've got it all. Chris Colvin. Nope, I don't get that one.
Got
I
it.
get that one
Got it.
there.
Well, hey, what was your MOS?
I was security, so I actually went to boot camp as a nuke because my recruiter suckered me into because I was good at math. I lied to you guys earlier. I really do like math, but I like to dumb it down. Yeah, I went to nuke to boot camp as a nuke, and then the moment of truth, they bring the nukes and the special warfare guys up to a special room, and they said, "All right, we know what you're lying about. And as soon as we find out, we're going to kick you out of the military. So if you don't tell us now, you're going to get a dishonorable discharge." And I was like, "I need some more paper. Like, I got warrants." Like, I went through all this stuff, speeding, traffic tickets, debt, uh, marijuana usage, you name it. It was in there, and they're like, "You're not going to be a nuke." And then I was like, God, this stinks. So they like busted me down from an E3 to E2. I was just like broken. I was like, this is the worst day ever. Like, I don't even want to be in the Navy anymore. And I was such a stud going in there. Like from day one, I just shined. And like my recruiter, my RDC, they loved what I did. I took charge. I was the master of arms for the division. We were honor guard. We are like the head of the head. And as soon as I told them that, they're like, don't worry about it. We're going to honorably promote you or meritoriously promote you the day you graduate. We'll bump you back up to E3. So I was like the only person that I know that got bumped down from E3 to E2 in boot camp and then promoted a month later.
Oh, that's good stuff. But you're getting ready to get out, though, right?
Yeah, that's a long story, but yeah.
That's a long story. Story for another day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an honorable discharge, but it's been a long time coming, so I'm happy to get out of here.
Nice.
All right. I
Nice.
think that's everything. If you would, is there any way to share my screen and we can do this?
That's a good question.
Let
Do
me,
you
let me
have the
see if I
option?
can do this. I might just be able to do it without you. Hold on.
Okay.
Boom. Boom. All right. If you just go ahead and enter that in, maybe you can jump in. See it on the bottom next to my picture.
Oh, let me see if I can add that on there.
There we go. All right.
Hey.
This is everybody that I found in there. So if you're not on here, I apologize. Just reach out to me. I'll give you a cool discount. If anybody does want to go and money's an issue, like I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart that Sales Boost changed my life, and I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to get there. And I get it's slow for some people right now. So like, if you want to go, if you want to have the same success or the opportunities that I had by going in 2019, like reach out to me and we'll figure something out to get. I'm not going to give you the ticket for free, except for the lucky winner right now, but we'll figure out some way to get you there because I promise you, once you leave there, like your life will change like I did as long as you implement these things. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go, guys. Somebody's life's about to change right here. This
All
is.
right.
I'm pumped.
Spinny
I'm
spin
excited,
spin.
man. Let's go.
Free
Wish I
ticket to
had like
Sales Boost goes to Derek Gregory.
Derek Gregory.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, let's go. Derek Gregory, where are you at, my friend?
Congrats.
Congratulations. And I'm trying to see, was he a Facebook comment or a that was a lot of comments.
Yeah, there was.
Congrats. Let's see. I wish there was a way I could just type in his name and find him. Do. We need some. I need some background music here, don't I?
Let me see where it is on here. That'll help me.
There,
Um,
there. Sales boost, sales
he's
boost.
towards the top below Babal, if that was the person. Let's
Derek
see.
Gregory. It says a link. I don't know what that means. It's got a link besides this Facebook thing, so it was on Facebook. Derek Gregory.
Well, there he is. He just commented at the bottom. Oh, that means he's commenting off of my Facebook. That's probably why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, congrats, Derek. Go ahead and reach out to me, and we'll get you squared away. And all you gotta do is pay for your travel and your hotel. But you got a free ticket to Sales Boost. Congrats. Hopefully you can go because I want to make sure somebody has the opportunity. Again, if anybody does want to go, feel free to go to salesboostlive.com. You can go ahead and use what's the code? Let's just do a fun code right now, man, because like you had an incredible audience, and if they use code friends, they can get a $500 discount. That
Code
expires on
friend.
Friday. Yeah, so they got to use it by Friday though, or else that code expires.
Well, I tell you what, that's huge, man. That's a big discount.
Yeah, like I said, I want people to go there and just see the value and how much it could change their life. Like I hate seeing people just work harder, not smarter. And this is the opportunity for you. This is the year. This is your year. Like stop making excuses. You got to get yourself in the right room with the right people, and good things will happen to you. But you're not going to find that just by sitting home and blaming everybody else and just saying why. Like you got to have this opportunity. You got to do it. Again, 2019 changed my life because I got a coach and I went to Sales Boost, and I just wholeheartedly know for a fact that I would not be where I am right now. Wouldn't be talking to y'all about, the success I've had over the last 5-6 years, if it wasn't for these opportunities. So I want to make sure that you have the opportunity that I had. And if it wasn't for Pat Clark reaching out to me and just giving me these opportunities to go to these events and joining the groups and getting a coach, like I don't know where I'd be right now. I don't even know if I'd still be an entrepreneur, to be honest with you. So
it's powerful.
Very, very grateful.
It's very powerful. We're very grateful for you. We appreciate that. That's so nice. It's very nice, man. Salesboostlive.com. Use the code FRIENDS for $500 off. Code's good until Friday. Up to Friday.
I'm going to type that in there.
Yep.
Use code FRIEND. I can't spell friend. FIREND. There we go. All right. Well, I thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for delivering value upon value, man. We're so thankful. This has been a fun one. Hey, Mike, we did it. I did it without you, Mike. It's all right. We survived. JC carried
and then if anybody needs, wants some more information, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Jared Chanowski. If you want to know more about the coaching opportunities, I'd love to talk to you. If you want to know more about Beyond the Bulbs, help grow your Christmas light company. Again, it's like you have to invest in yourself and stop looking at it as an expense. It is money, but it's an investment. And how much faster you can grow your company by doing the things that successful people have already done. So absolutely. I don't know what your group is, Sterling. Do you know his group? It's it's exterior cleaning and exterior cleaning wash. Is that what it is? I'm sorry. I know I haven't. I'm in it. Forgive me. Exterior cleaning and pressure washing, maybe. Yeah, I'm screwing it up. By the way, I fixed the name. I got the Y on the end of the name. Nice. I know. I saw saw the video earlier, and I guess Trevor did the same thing too. Put an I instead of a Y. Yeah. It was two people in one day and I haven't had that in a long time that put I. And I'm kind of laughing at Trevor because he knows me pretty well. I'm like, dude, like you just stared at my Facebook name and wrote it down, and you still put a Y there or an I there. It's like, and then as I'm talking to him, I see your post. I'm like, I had it. I typed it in. I had your profile. I was like, all right, I'm typing it. I won't mess this up. I'm not putting Jared. I'm putting JC. And then sure enough, I was like, God, I thought I had it. And there it was. Daggone, man. I even had it. I love it.
We appreciate it, guys. Salesboost.com. Use the code FRIENDS for a $500 discount. Ends Friday. We appreciate it. JC, thanks for delivering the fire. By the way, as always, we always end the show in a prayer. JC, it's kind of how we do things. And if that's okay with you, that's usually what we'll do. And tonight, if you got a prayer request or anything like that, drop it down below. We're going to remember Mike and his family and our prayers and thoughts. And there's nothing wrong with the name Jared. Jared.
That's what I was laughing
I
at.
know what that is. Yeah. Appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and I'll end this in prayer, and then we'll cut out, and we'll see y'all next week, next Wednesday night at 9:00. And just give a big thanks to JC. All right. Father, we come to you in prayer tonight. We ask, Lord, that you'll lead, guide, and direct the hospital staff, the doctors, and the teams during this procedure and stuff, as they make the decisions that they need to with Mike's brother-in-law. Lord, we pray for his sister. We pray for Mike. We pray for the family. We pray for peace and comfort, and just during this time of sadness and loss. We pray for all of our other brothers and sisters out there who may be going through similar things. Lord, we ask that you'll just wrap your arms around them and give them that peace and comfort, Lord, that you can give like no other. We give thanks for another day. We're very thankful for your son, Jesus Christ, who died for us, that we could have everlasting life, Lord. Lord, I'm just, my heart aches for those out there that are struggling tonight. I pray for my brothers and sisters as the warmer weather comes, Lord, that they'll find strength during this time, Lord, that their business will be blessed, Lord, that they'll get out and they'll hustle and they'll bring honor and glory to you during this, Lord. We thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful.
All right, guys. Peace. We appreciate you guys.